Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. BonBon here, how you doing? And it's request day, and today's map was requested down in the comments by the subscriber Overlord. No, not the Overlord of all subscribers. He's a subscriber and he's called Overlord. Yeah, you knew that. It went up for the BonBonB vote over on Patreon and got 66%, which is a good score in anybody's book. So let's review Vigo, Galicia, mass transit version by our old friend, Mr. Miyagi, he who makes all the playable maps. Yeah, you know him, don't you? Anyway, let's have a look at the start square, which has no fewer than 9 possible starting roads. Well done, you've gone to town on this town. And the resources are splattered and lovely and realistic and lovely too. Okay, let's go off to the workshop. Now this is the mass transit version. There is a non-DLC version available. And as for the required items, there's only 3 of them. There's a rock, there's a tree, and there's a boaty type thing. That's all you need. It's good news, isn't it? Now, if we have a look at the roads, the first thing we're going to come across is a tunnel where I'm going to have a bit of a grumble. But we are in the fog, so it's going to be a little grumble, and then I'm going to let it go. Right here. This, I think, if I was driving along the national speed limit along here, I wouldn't be appreciative of this. It would be a little bit scary. Yes, just drops off a little bit too much. I mean, on the other side, it's absolutely perfect. But as we are off in the fog, I think we can let that go, because you can see where you're going there. You're not suddenly being delved into the hills. Anyway, what was I going to say? Some slight glitching between the highways, but we'll let that go. What will prevent glitching in the highways, of course, is going elevated. Oh, look at that. Now, we have seen this map before. We did a fly-through. Do you remember Skylines Talk episode 1 with, oh yes, Mr. Miyagi? Well, this was one of the couple of maps that I did a fly-through on. I think it was the first one. So if you've not seen Skylines Talk episode 1 with Mr. Miyagi, it's actually a really good watch. I'm just having a look there. See the roads there? They seem they seem perfect. You come down here, they look a bit funny. Then come to the side. It's because it's just like the slight elevation just makes it look a bit odd. But it's actually nothing wrong with it, so we'll let it go. So yes, Skylines Talk. Do make a point of watching that one if you haven't. And of course we did the Christmas special with Mr. Miyagi as well, where we had a look at his Christmas village, and that is a work of wonder, guys. If you've not seen that, well, forget about map reviews, that is a town review. It was brilliant. We had a good long chat and a good fly through, and it was it's one of my favourite things ever. Along with the Halloween special. Oh, if you've not seen the Trees Under the Highway probably would get enough light through the day, and certainly would get enough water coming down the hill, so we'll let them go as well. So yes, oh, the Halloween special. If you've not seen that, oh, you've got it. Just search, look through. Oh, look at the dots in the water. See them? They were those boaty type things. We'll see them in a minute. Oh, I'm so distracted by everything. Everything's so exciting today. Also distracted. Across the road at the moment, they are doing some drilling and sawing and stuff. And so, although I'm pretty sure you can't hear it. Oh, look, can you see the tree glitching? The tree glitching is noticeable. There it comes. Coming in a little bit lower. We've got a very naughty oak tree here. Very naughty. He's not content with ruining one highway. He's trying to ruin both of them. So yeah, anyway, that goes off to the fog if we follow that off that way. We're not going that way. We'll go across the bridge. The bridge is, of course, a perfect bridge. Well, why wouldn't it be a perfect bridge? Because it's a perfect bridge. Anyway, we'll ignore those little boaty type things until after the asset review break. But yes, no, I've got. I know you can't hear it, or probably can't hear it, but I've got the distraction of somebody just like sawing and drilling with power tools every few moments, and they started the moment I started recording, which is just a pain in the backside. Also a pain in the backside is the AI. Not content with using both lanes, they just want to use one. Yes, we can use Traffic Manager Present Edition to fix that, and there's not much you can do within the map itself, so I'm going to let it go, Mr. Miyagi. It's not your fault, it's the idiots. The idiots, that is the AI. Oh, we love them. We love them. Anyway, down to the start square. And as I said before, we have got 9 possible start locations. We've got these 3, including 2 rail connections as well. We'll look at the rail in a minute. We come across this way and spin the camera and pull back a little bit. And then you've got 3 there, all set to go. And then if we go inland a little bit, and then we've got 3 there also. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Very good. Wow. I've never ever seen as many possible start roads into a start square before. That sets some kind of a record. Well done. Right. Let's see. Mr. Miyagi hasn't lost his magic torch. Touch. That's it. I'm sure Mr. Miyagi will get that reference. Okay, we'll head up this way and that way. And like I say, it's a beautiful map. There's a little bit of road glitching. Ooh, little baddie bit of road glitching there. I think we pulled back on that one. We'd see a little hint of mantle. But we'll let that go because we're flying by. We're flying by it and we'll ignore it. Off towards the edge of the fog again. I'm not switching the fog off today because honestly, there's not really that much to see with the fog off. We'll just carry on and acknowledge it and just turn around and move the other way. All the interesting bits are in the middle of the map, which is good. So there you go, off into the fog that way. We'll ignore it, we'll go this way. And we'll hit these tunnels, which are fine. The tunnels come out over here somewhere. Yep. These are fine as well. So nice, easy, gentle slopes out of there. We go elevated again. And bear left, and bear right, and bear left again. Ah! And a nice swooping intersection here. Very tidy. We'll head off this way. And now we're getting back towards where we started. We've got this intersection here, which takes you down to the start square, but those, what I'm going to call the northern roads, the ones that are away from the coastline. Do you remember them? Yeah, you got it. And then we join back up with the highway again. We'll bear off this way, and then that way, and this way, and then through this tunnel. And you'll recognise this tunnel because it comes out here. And then we've got this tunnel, which you will recognise. Pop out the other side, and we get this intersection, which takes us back to our start square and the bridge in the opposite direction. Wowzers. Well, there's a lot going on. Now, there's a little bit of interesting glitching going on here. Not seen glitching like this before. Once again, not the creator's fault. It's just an oddity. I thought I'd point it out. Because while we're here, when we've got things to talk about, we might as well talk about that. Now the rail, we've got 2 rail connections. They come in from the same point. And right out in the fog here, we've got trees overhanging the catenaries. But if we move away from the fog, the trees are still overhanging the catenaries. And they're still overhanging the catenaries. Tunnels. See a few tunnels on these rail. We've got one that emerges just there into the trees overhanging. Yes, you've got the idea. Comes up a bit steep there, if I'm honest with you, but it is kind of hidden by the trees, so we might let it go. No, we won't. And then that one comes out there, and that's fine. I think this is definitely a prime map for the catenary replacer, and just remove them all together, and then you won't have any problems. Oh, what a result. We'll head off this way and we'll hit some more tunnels on one line but not the other. On the right there, it's gone. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, here it is. Hello. Pops out there. But the one on the left, it stays overground. It's wobbling free, that one. And we'll go through the left here, and then that one comes to a stop here. And then just on the other side, we've got, yeah, one of those over there too. That's that. Right, it's the asset review time. Now this one is pretty bright and I approve. It's pretty tall too. It's the Tokyo Tower by Hoon. Hoon has got a great name. I love that name. It's a real hoon to say, or hoot. I like it. This is a really quite cool asset. I mean, it's striking. You wouldn't want to place down more than one, or maybe you would. What sort of location would you put down more than one of these? Not sure. But it's bright, it's bold, it's nicely detailed, and I'm just a big fan of this. A real big fan of this. Now, if we just pan down towards the ground a little bit, there's no door, and people are running in through the front wall, which is an odd thing, I think. We'll just pan round this way now. Why did I pan round this way? I'm sure I was going to show you something, but anyway, yes, there's no front door, which is a shame. But other than that, it's a really, really nice asset. Today's asset of the day, Vigo Tower by Hoon, and then off to Themington Island. One more to come, and it is a coastline by Satsuma this week with the Cold Embrace Slut. And I'm feeling a bit chilly. It does feel cold this at nightfall. It does. It works really quite nicely together. Now, as we're down on the beach, the factoids, water. A blue whale harpooned by a fishing boat towed the boat at 11 kilometers an hour, which is about 7 miles per hour, for several hours, even though the engines were in full reverse. They're big buggers, those blue whales, and you shouldn't harpoon them because it's just a bit mean. Sentient creatures. Another sentient creature, kind of, is the octopus. However, when it becomes upset, it might just eat itself. Calamari! That'll cheer me up. Oh, I can't find any. Just nibble on me tentacles. Ooh, misses. Anyway, that just about covers today's asset and theme and factoid review. Oh, I'm back down to water. Water. We have 3 shipping routes. They all come in from this route, and they all dead end. Although this one looks to be broken. Just looks to be broken to me. Maybe I'm wrong. I've not checked it. I've not tested it. It just looks broken. Water flow. We have got water flow in patches. We've got some water flow there. There is a little bit, a very slow motion actually in the open water, but we've got a few dotted water sources just to get the water moving away from the edges. To be honest with you, I probably would prefer a better weight of motion across the map. See, we've got the dotted water sources there just to get things moving. I think I would have preferred a little bit more water motion, but it kind of, it makes it work. There we are. Anyway, it's a very nice looking map. You can see a lot of time and effort's been spent on the design. And if we come down to ground level, you can see that when you start building your town or your city here, the background is going to be gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful gorgeousness. These oak trees. Mr. Maison, your oak trees are outstanding. And considering it's the only tree that's been used, actually there's something about this map. It does feel like there's plenty of variety. And I think that a lot of that is down to the way Mr. Miyagi has chosen as for his tree placement, rather than the actual selection of the choices of trees. Personally, I'd like to see a few more trees, but I can understand and I can respect the decision. With regard to the choice that Mr. Miyagi's made to keep the dependencies right down on this map. Now, one of the dependencies that is probably not essential are these little shipping raft type things. They're really, really nicely done again, made by another one of our old friends, Armesto. And look at them, you can feel the rust in the water here. Now, these are mussel rafts. Apparently there's a lot of mussel mussel fishing in this particular area, and these they look like they're permanent things to me. I've not done any research at all, but they look like they're permanent structures that the fishermen use to land their hauls, etc., and to work through and maybe chuck back the juvenile mussels. I don't know. I've never been fishing in my life. Well, I went fishing once, but it was so boring, and the only thing I caught was a cold. It's partly a joke, but partly true, I'm afraid. There, yes, down the end of the pier at my local beach, went with my friend, and we threw our rods over the edge, and we caught nothing. And yeah, it was nice though. We had a chat. Personally, I'd rather have kicked a ball around. Anyway, where were we? Yes, we are just flying across the landscape. It just shows that there's The land is flat enough for build, but also undulating enough to be slightly challenging. Now if we head over this way, I just wanted to show you one last thing before we do the reviews, and that's these bateaux or batties or whatever they call these things, these muscle rafts. Is it meant to be sinking? I don't know. Don't know, because this one looks really, really high. So maybe the water level has changed since. I don't know if that's a deliberate thing or not. I'm taking it as a yes, that's deliberate, because it looks like it might be deliberate, so I'm going to give it. Okay, this map aesthetically is very nice. Am I going to give it a 5 star? I think it could be more so. I think a little bit more variety in the foliage, and it would ping a little bit more, but it's still very much a 4-star map. Detailing, pretty much good across the board. There are a few grumbles, like those tunnels and the glitching oak tree on the intersection, but other than that, it's still very good, so 4 stars. As for gameplay potential, the only thing that I would like to see changed is a little bit more water flow down the middle of the map. So I can't give a 5th star, but once again, very playable, and I think 4 stars is well worth it. So, Vigo, Galicia, the mass transit version by Mr. Miyagi. Oh, go on. Soddin' have it. Soddin' have it. It gets the BonBonB seal of approval. Well done, Mr. Miyagi. Well, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for another map in the What's Map series, including our quirky asset of the day. And I'm getting the sinking feeling about it already. I wonder if there's a clue in that. Okay, anyway, thanks anyway. Thanks to all these guys for supporting me on Patreon. You guys are the best. You really do help me out. And without you, well, frankly, I wouldn't eat. Anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you very, very soon.